What is up, everyone, and thank you for checking out Don't Say the F Word. We are a pro wrestling and combat sports podcast. We do not use the F word when we talk about professional wrestling. I am everybody's favorite puppet friend. I am Mark the Monster, and let me tell you, it's Tuesday. I have finally woke up. I was asleep all day, out late. I went and checked out Monday Night Raw in Cleveland. What a great show. It was supposed to be live at 6:05, and I'm running a little bit late. I think I'm operating on Jeremy time, never on time for anything, but that's all right. Showing up is half the battle, I think. Still rocking my Seth Rollins gear. I got my Seth Rollins ring gear on. Got my championship belt. It was a great show. We are going to be joined here shortly by the illegal brother-in-law Joe. And we will be talking about AEW Collision from Saturday night. We will talk a little bit about SmackDown, since we're sure everyone has caught SmackDown already. It's been a few days, and there's been a lot that happened there. And then we're going to talk about Raw. Monday Night Raw was a very good show from Cleveland. And it's a good show. Thank you guys for checking us out. Again, we are live on Instagram right now. If you're checking this out later than quarter after 6 on Monday night, then you're not checking us out live. You're checking us out on Spotify, Rumble, or YouTube, perhaps Google Podcast. Who knows? But if you want to check us out live, make sure you are following us on Instagram. We do a lot of interviews, and we just talk, current events in the world of pro wrestling and combat sports live on Instagram. No real schedule because, I think we all have ADHD and we can't keep track of that. Got Bomb Shelter FM playing in the background. Got a lot of cool things around here. Got a Beyblade set up, a Beyblade arena. You guys want to see the Beyblade arena? There you go. Got a lot of Beyblades over there. One thing you guys wouldn't have seen last night from Raw in Cleveland was the matches that were recorded ahead of time for WWE's main event. And Apollo Crews had a match on main event, and the crowd was really into Apollo Crews. It was honestly kind of crazy. Apollo got heavily cheered in Cleveland. Looks like the illegal brother-in-law Joe is on deck. I'm trying to get you on here, bud. There we go. Can you hear me, Joe?
You hear me?
I can hear you, bud.
Cool.
Even with my lack of ears. I don't have ears, but I can hear you.
All right. Cool. Because I got done doing yard work, so I got my AirPods in there.
Oh, yard work's the worst.
Yeah.
That's the joys of home ownership, huh?
I'm starting to regret it, but hey, it's all good.
All the things I do around here, the big guy doesn't make me mow the yard.
Man, I got to talk to him about that.
Yeah, I mean, he generally doesn't do it either, to be honest. His wife does all that.
Oh, well, we cool then. Never mind. We ain't going to talk about it. We'll just leave it like that. Don't say no more.
Yeah. I don't. This just between me and you. I'm not sure he can mow a straight line.
For real?
Have you seen his handwriting?
Well, mine ain't the greatest neither. So okay, we'll go with that. Yeah.
His is unbelievably bad. I think he should have been a doctor. It looks like someone wrote with their feet.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, it's not great.
I'll keep that in mind.
But anyway, Apollo Crews was really over in Cleveland, Joe.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, the crowd went crazy for Apollo Crews.
Apollo.
Yeah, yeah, like tons of Apollo chants, and like it was pretty cool.
Here's my thing. When Apollo came to NXT, he was good. When he had that first run in the main roster, he was good. But then good old Vinnie Mac wanted to do some crazy stuff with him, and it just went downhill for him. But when he made that, return back to NXT, he was good.
He's built like an action figure.
I know.
Like he's ridiculously jacked and very athletic. Just really cool to see Apollo live, and I was just very, very surprised how over he was with the crowd in Cleveland. I was also surprised no Johnny Gargano.
Yeah, that's right. He wasn't on the main.
Yeah, wasn't there at all. Never seen him.
Oh, damn.
There were some Johnny Wrestling chants, but no Gargano.
I can tell you this.
Biz was there. Logan Paul was there. No Johnny Wrestling.
I can tell you one thing. One of my friends who works at a gym in Brook Park, Brooklyn, or Brook Park, he took pictures with Finn, Sammy, and American Alpha Academy. My bad, Alpha Academy.
Really?
Really?
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't get to meet any wrestlers last night, Joe.
I mean,
not as easily accessible to get to WWE wrestlers in Cleveland as it is to get to meet AEW guys in Pittsburgh. That's worth a mention.
Hey, I'm going to tell you this right now. On this very day next year, well, the next Raw next year in June or July, wherever it be at, you will meet all the wrestlers. You. Just you. Mark.
Me?
Just you.
How am I going to do that?
No big guy, no my white sister, just you. You will meet all the wrestlers without them. You will be this lovely podcast. You are the main attraction of the podcast, not the big guy. You
think? I mean, technically, I'm not even a host.
Look, listen to me. The big guy sucks. You are the star. Yeah.
Oh, my God. I wouldn't say that.
Look, between me.
The guy's kind of entertaining.
Look.
He knows.
Between me and you, the big guy is just the big guy talking blah, 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 blah. You are the star. You. Forget about the big guy. Forget about the big guy. You're the star of the show.
Little me?
Yes, little you.
Right.
I want you to listen to me. Listen to me.
I'm a
Forget
star.
about him. You're a star. You are way better star than the big guy. Keep that in mind.
You think so?
I'm telling you, the little kids, they love you more than the big guy. If the little kids love you more than the big guy,
big guy's kind of lovable, though.
Look, don't let the big guy fool you. He just got that big ass beard and everything else. He just your average Joe, but not like me. He's just your average Joe. So you are the star.
Joe, your name is Joe.
I know, but the phrase called average Joe.
Jeremy couldn't be an average Joe. You're Joe.
I'm Joe, but see, average Joe is like a normal ass person. That's what he is. He's a normal person. You are the star. I'm just a legal brother-in-law, Joe. See, I can take credit for that. Illegal brother-in-law, Joe. You're a star.
Oh my God, I'm a star.
You're a star. I'm going to sponsor you. I'm going to get you a shirt that's saying "You the star," like Mark. You're going to have a big shirt. You're going to have a shirt with your big.
Differently now?
Hey, I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to get you a shirt. Yeah. Think about it. I'm going to make you a shirt. It's going to have your big head, your body everywhere, and the big guy going to be like the little corner piece right there, like tiny, like little chest piece. And you're going to be a star. Big shirt.
Oh, my God.
Face.
I'm going to be famous. I'm going to have to get a haircut, aren't I?
No, leave the hair and everything.
Clean it up a little bit.
Okay. Maybe around the nose. Around the nose and mouth. Yeah, there you
go. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Does it look better?
Right here, the nose part.
Right.
There we go. Perfect.
ready for Hollywood now?
Ready for Hollywood.
If I go Hollywood like John Cena, does that mean I just have to show up like twice a year?
Twice a year. Yeah, twice a year.
Oh, that's a good deal. I'll take that deal. Do I get more money?
I can't answer that question.
I need more money for more Beyblades.
Hey, you can get sponsorships from Beyblades. You wouldn't have to worry about paying for none. You'll be sponsored by them. That's what you want every month.
You know what? On that note, I'm gonna get the big guy. Hey, Jeremy, come do your job. I'm a star now. I'm gonna go Hollywood. I'm gonna get booked for movies. Joe said he knows someone who can who can get me into the movies. I think I'm gonna be famous. I think I'm gonna be in the Fast and the Furious 315.
Wait, Mark.
What? Yeah.
Before you go, let's start this off right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Don't Say the F Word podcast with your star, monster, Jeremy. Mark, the star, is now going to step away for a brief, short message and come back. And now, on to the big guy with the big beard and ugly face, Jeremy.
I can see it now, Joe. I can see my name up in lights. I'm on the marquee. I'm main event Mania. We're at the Garden. And they're all cheering my name from the front row to the nosebleeds, just like they were at AEW whenever MJF was in the ring and they were cheering for me. Mark. What are you doing? Mark. I'm gonna be a star. Don't hold me down. What was that all about?
Oh, motivation. That's all. I gotta motivate the guy. Be a true person. Motivation. That's all. Motivation.
Just giving Mark a little motivation?
I'm giving him motivation. That's all. Motivation.
Why did that? You think he's gonna be in the Fast and the Furious 337 or something?
I mean, if he survives that long, we'll get there.
Huh. You really gotta stop hyping him up, Joe.
Somebody got to.
I mean, he's a very positive guy.
I know. That's what I'm here for. I'm the motivation speaker for him because he might got a little insecure, so I'm motivating him for you. That's all. That's all.
So it's Tuesday. Me, Mark, sister, we were at Raw last night.
Tried looking for you. When they had him right there by Cody and that girl right there by that, I tried looking up there. I couldn't see. I tried looking.
We'll kick off a little bit. We'll talk a little bit about the experience of Raw and where we ride a little bit because I don't think we haven't gotten together and talked about SmackDown yet.
Nah.
And we'll talk a little Collision. We'll come back to Raw. Man, that was a great show.
It was.
Very, very, very good live show. A lot of progress and storylines on that episode of Raw. The event itself, I gotta say, man, just really good atmosphere in the arena. The crowd was very, very good. If I were to go, comparatively speaking, a few years back, whenever we went to Nashville and Memphis, we caught the SmackDown show, the energy level of that crowd wasn't the same as the energy level last night in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
I just think really great energy from the crowd, packed house, sold out. Of course, there were empty production areas. Like everyone loves to show those pictures of, the arena's half empty. Mark went on, he had his little joke about how there's nobody else there but him. Very, very full arena, great crowd, great show. And we'll come back to kind of the events of Raw, but let's talk a little bit about SmackDown. Jey Uso didn't fall in line, man.
Hey, Academy Award, Oscar, he can do that. He can pull that off.
I've said it before, and I do think that the entire Bloodline storyline should win some sort of TV award. I know they won't give an award to, anything in pro wrestling like that. No storyline on WWE is going to get the Emmy. But the story just keeps going along.
Oh, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised at the next two Premium Live events. Jay fight him at one, then the next one, Jimmy fights him. I wouldn't be surprised to do that.
There's gonna have to be something that kind of carries this out. And talked a little bit to our boy Steroid Steve a little bit earlier today, and I figure we're probably going to get some other people from the family involved that haven't been on WWE TV in a bit. I bet we see Rikishi back on TV to a degree. Maybe Jacob Fatu brought into WWE.
You hear what else happening?
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly, rumor, Umaga's son is supposed to be doing the part of the Bloodline.
I can see it. But we got to at least get to Survivor Series and War Games with the Bloodline. That's got to be the War Games match, right?
I wish, but I just don't see how they're going to drag it for the next 4 months.
They have to.
I know they have to.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know how we get there. I was trying to fantasy book this earlier, and I don't know really how do we drag this out whenever we're already at Roman and Solo versus the Usos.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I mean, if they would have waited after SummerSlam to do it instead of Money in the Bank, it would work out perfect. But they did just a little.
It's almost like we're just 1 month too early.
It's a little bit too early. It's a little bit too early.
But I mean, they're gonna do something. Roman's not gonna. I think that Solo and Roman lose that Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna call, and I think Jey Uso pins Roman Reigns at Money in the Bank.
Okay. But
Jey was the first one to ever pin Roman in WWE. He was the first one to give him a pinfall.
True.
So I think they're gonna. I think that's a good callback. And it being a tag match, there can always be some nonsense that happens that leads to it. So it doesn't. Nothing's gonna hurt Roman. Roman's not gonna look weak in any pinfall he takes. But I think Roman has to take the loss to have Solo have animosity toward Roman.
But, you know, I think they're gonna do. Here's my opinion. I think they're gonna wait for that pin for Roman. They're gonna let Solo get the pin because I think they're really trying to hold off that 3-year pin, non-pin for a while until he actually loses the title. That's my opinion.
And if they do that, it does give whoever beats it. It does make it very, very impactful for whoever does get the pin Roman. If Roman doesn't eat the pinfall Money in the Bank, it would be very poetic for Jey to do it in a tag match. It'd be a good callback. It would be, you'd have to give WWE a tip of your hat for some very long-term storytelling if they were to do that. But I feel like we're just a month too early to be at the Civil War. Because it has to be a Bloodline thing at War Games. That has to be the War Games match. Nothing else makes sense.
I mean, if they would have waited before the breakup happened after, what was it? Not WrestleMania. What happened after WrestleMania pay-per-view? Saudi Arabia show. The Saudi Arabia show.
The Saudi show.
Yeah. If they didn't do nothing then with the Bloodline breaking up everything right now, it still would be going strong right now. But right now, I think they just run out of ideas for the Bloodline, so they had to start it a little bit early.
See, I don't think they're out of ideas, because I don't think necessarily that. I don't know that the Bloodline storyline was necessarily planned out very long-term booking. I think just as the story progressed, they just kept adding to it, and it was almost like a snowball effect. This thing just started going, and it just kept going. And it kept moving along, and things just got pulled into its gravitational pull on its own. I think the Sammy piece grew bigger than the plan was, so they just kept going. I just don't. I can't think of anything else to have be War Games other than that be the Bloodline. And it's interesting they're calling this the Civil War, because I would have thought that would have been the tagline they would have used for War Games with the Bloodline.
You know what's going to happen? I just realized something. What if they did do it at Civil War, about War Games? And here's the best thing about it. I believe this year is the Rock 20th anniversary at Survivor Series where he debuted. What if they have the Rock be the, I don't know, problem solver?
So I was going to, it's interesting that you bring that up, because I was going to kind of get to the Rock being involved in this storyline now. So he wasn't in shape for Mania. A lot of different things has happened for his career in Hollywood. All kinds of things were Disney, and a lot of things are just bad news right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's no longer part of Black Adam, no longer part of the DC Universe. Issues with Disney, issues with these different things. The XFL has lost money. I don't necessarily consider these things all be negative. It's not like The Rock's short on cash or anything like that. What I think it may have done for us as wrestling fans is taken some things off his plate.
Yeah.
We may have gotten The Rock with some free time. And if we have The Rock with some free time and he can do some professional wrestling, well, that's fantastic. Because we have a storyline right here where we can just fit him directly in at any point in time, and The Rock makes sense in the Bloodline storyline. So if The Rock now has free time, that's great for us as wrestling fans, and it just works. So that could be why perhaps we accelerated the Civil War to create an opening. I wouldn't think they would waste Rock at Survivor Series, though, unless he's going to be available for 8 months to be at Survivor Series, to be at Rumble, to be at Mania.
I'm just.
But
20th
that can happen.
I believe, I believe it's like his 20th anniversary. Yeah. 20 years. Could be wrong.
There's a lot more money available to pay to have The Rock at some pro wrestling events today than there was just 5 months ago.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a lot more money that could be thrown around to make that take place. So I think that's a good opportunity for this with the Bloodline Civil War. I think it's a good opportunity to plug in some more family members. I do believe that Jacob Fatu is finished with any of his obligations anywhere else.
I think 2 more. I think it's 2 more.
He's got 2 more matches with who, though? His House of Glory contract is, from what I've seen, I believe he's finished with House of Glory because he dropped the belt to Matt Cardona. I don't believe there's anything else for him to do there.
I think he's still got like 2 independent shows left. I think it's 2 independent shows. Nothing serious, but like 2 appearances.
So we could see the inclusion of Jacob Fatu. Again, that's strictly speculation. I haven't read anything on it. But I thought that over the last 6 months or so, maybe a little longer, I feel like Jacob Fatu's body of work has really kind of stood out. He's had some really, really good matches. I thought his match with Matt Cardona was very good. So I think it could be a good time to bring him to WWE. And it's bring him into NXT, but to have him dabble in main roster, be part of the Bloodline story at the Civil War and War Games, could work if they want to polish him up a little bit more in NXT. I don't think he needs it, but sometimes they just like to do those things.
I think he don't really need it, but I think they probably just going to have him go there and work on his promo. That's about it. Maybe that's about it.
Yeah. It's certainly, I mean, yeah, I could definitely see them do that. He would probably, for WWE promos, probably needs those a little bit of promo classes. But I just think there's an opportunity for that to take place. And it would be the time to start dropping some folks in. Now, let's talk a little bit about AEW Collision.
Yeah,
So,
boy. The Gold Club.
got my Chicago Bullet Club hat on. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I hate to be the guy who says this because for their website, I write all the articles about Punk. Man, sometimes I get a little sick of talking about CM Punk.
Hey. He opened the show. He ended the show. So you got no choice but to talk about him.
So, what are your thoughts on? Well, how did you feel about Collision as a whole? The entire show. What did you think about the debut show?
It could have been. It could have been better. A little bit better. It's like your basic. It was like your basic Dynamite show. It could have been a little bit better, getting a little bit more excitement to it. And the theme song of the show, like,
Man, Elton John. It just. I get it. I
mean, I could come up with a better song, but
Saturday Night's all right for fighting. I get it. It was clever. Maybe that was just maybe they just licensed that for one night.
I don't think so. I think
If they did it for one night, that's very clever. If that is the actual theme song, I think they missed something.
I believe they said that's the actual theme song for Collision.
Yeah, I feel like that was a misstep because I'll be honest, I just don't think it resonates with today's fan base.
Yeah, but I can't say, Buddy and Andrade matches, that was good. That was good.
So I really like Buddy Matthews. I have since he was in WWE. Buddy Murphy. I think he's very, very talented guy. I definitely figured him and Andrade would have a very good match. As much as I'm not the biggest Andrade fan, as I've said before, people want the second coming of Eddie Guerrero, and he's just not that. He isn't. But that match was very good. But that match, every time they've ever had that match, has always been a very good match. This is probably the best of their matches that they've had because they were given a good amount of time and a good production of their match. Their WWE matches, which I think it's interesting that you look at a lot of the AEW like focus pages and they talk about this match like it was like the greatest thing ever and ones that are very anti the Fed, as if this was a match you've never seen before. This is a match I've seen a bunch of times. Yeah. This is just the best version of that match that I've seen.
This was just like, what to say? This was like your extra 5 minutes compared to WWE.
Yeah, and they were able to just get their shit in the way they wanted to. Mm-hmm. They didn't have to throw in a bunch of rest moves, and they were just able to go at the pace they chose to go and the way they chose to produce that matchup. And I thought it was really good. If I were to say, I guess this would probably be the time where I could say I've seen a good Andrade match.
And I can say
that's the Andrade match I think is good. It's him and Buddy.
And they both used their partners' move on each other.
Yeah. For me, I thought that Collision was a okay show. I think that Buddy and Andrade probably stood as being the good match of the night. Everything else, I just thought was okay. Nothing bad. I didn't think anything was bad. I'm a little iffy on Luchasaurus beating Wardlow. I've been back and forth on that since Saturday. It just seems like that's like Wardlow's thing at this point. He wins the TNT title, he loses the TNT title, he wins the TNT title, he loses the TNT title. I would kind of like for this to be the thing that kind of takes him out of the TNT title picture and maybe gives an opportunity for Wardlow to do a bit of something else, and maybe we can see him get to the main event scene. Mm-hmm. Because I think at some point Wardlow has to get to the main event scene because I think there needs to be a world title match between MJF and Wardlow. Wardlow can take the L, he can lose that. But I think that match kind of has to happen just because there's so much story between those two guys.
Yeah. I think he's going to go for it one more time and that'll be it. Just one more time for the title. That's it. This is probably going to be the last time then he'll go on to the The one Cassidy got. I forget the name of that one.
Do you foresee Luchasaurus turning on Christian Cage?
No, I really don't. I think Christian Cage is like his mouthpiece. Luchasaurus is not talking, so he's going to need a manager. So I see he ain't going to turn him, not now, but down the road, but not now. They're like good right now.
We're going to see Christian just go into manager status for quite some time. Do you think they end up having a match at all, or do you think Christian's pretty much done in ring unless him and Luchasaurus do a few oddball tag matches here and there?
I would say if he did it right, Christian would want his last match with his original tag team partner. But right now, I say he is done with the in-ring right now. But if he had that one final match.
And I think Christian's return, him and Edge return same time-ish. I think Christian's return has actually been more impactful than Edge's. The Impact title run I thought was actually good. His feud with Kenny I thought was good while Kenny was heel Kenny and he was the belt collector. I thought all that was really good.
Yeah. The only thing about it was Edge didn't want to be champion. That's all. He put in a contract. He didn't want to be champion. He just wanted to be there. That was it.
Yeah.
I mean, if he didn't have that in his contract, he probably could have been 12-time champion. Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of people would have wanted to see Edge take a title. But I get it. I mean, he had no intention of being back full time. And that's why he got WWE to give him the deal that AEW was going to give it. A little bit more money, but same limited dates. So I think that's good for him.
Mm-hmm.
So back to Collision. Punk's promo. I think there's, and this is for myself included, I think there's really been much to do about nothing with Punk's promo. I've seen some reports where people were saying that his promo wasn't approved, that no one went over it or anything, and I've seen people say, oh no, the line about counterfeit bucks was the Young Bucks signed off on it. I do not believe that at any point in time moving forward with CM Punk and AEW, that anything CM Punk does is going to be a shoot. I don't think he's going off script. I think everything is very, very gone over with a fine-tooth comb. And if he gets out of line and he acts out of pocket, Tony Khan is going to take him for everything he's ever made. There's zero possibilities that a billionaire businessman like Tony Khan and his father are going to allow a pro wrestler who he can say he's all about the business of pro wrestling. CM Punk is not a billionaire. Tony Khan and his father are. They are businessmen. They're not going to get worked by a carny. It's just not going to happen. Punk's promo was definitely gone over. It was definitely produced. He definitely followed the script. He was not shooting on anybody. Tony Khan's not going to let himself get sued by his EVPs. He's not going to allow a wrestler to ever sit next to him in a press conference again and bury him in his company. There's no way. No way any aspect of that wasn't approved by Tony Khan, Kenny, and the Bucks. No way.
I mean, if they was okay with him saying little hints about calling him out, I mean, hey, but it some of it did sound like it was worked in, and then like a little bit he might have tweaked it a little bit to his personal.
I think it was an interesting promo because I think that all the powers that be, CM Punk, Tony Khan, whoever produced the segment, probably Ace Steel, whomever.
Mm-hmm.
I think they think that Punk promo was a babyface promo. And I think that promo was a heel promo.
It could be a little bit of both because He wants you to think which side he on. Is he heel or not? It could be both.
Yeah. See, I like heel CM Punk because I think he likes being an antagonist, and I think that just comes very natural for him to be a dick. And I think that referring to himself as the truth and, basically, saying that everything he was saying is the truth, I think they thought that was him coming off as a good guy. But all of that, his delivery and all of it was very much a heel. It was very much a bad guy. Referring to him, saying that whoever it is from Warner Bros. Discovery calls him One Bill Phil and man of counterfeit bucks. I thought that was a good line.
It was.
And I love that the Bucks said if this is 2018, we'd have already had a counterfeit Bucks shirt on ProWrestlingTees.com. With the changing of their bio, the Young Bucks won that. So if it was about one-upping, the Bucks won.
Mm-hmm. So, but we'll see if they all. I heard rumor part again. Rumor. I read online earlier that the Young Bucks and Omega are not in Chicago tomorrow. There's pre-taped.
So I read that also that we're probably going to get a pre-recorded video thing, just progress story from Kenny and the Bucks, and that Punk will be on Dynamite. To me, that just makes total sense. Dynamite's in Chicago tomorrow night, so. And I believe the event it's now officially sold. Mm-hmm. It was very close earlier. I put a story on the website about now we're seeing the uptick in ticket sales after Punk hit TV for the Collision events. So I believe now that they have sold out for tomorrow night's Dynamite. If not sold out, it is very, very close to being sold out. I think that is just the anticipation that Punk's going to be on Dynamite, and that makes complete sense to have Punk be on Dynamite. What will be interesting is if Hangman Page is on Dynamite. So Hangman wasn't involved in the whole backstage brawl-out situation. So all the illegal things that prevent Punk and Kenny and the Bucks from talking about things, there's nothing in place for Hangman and Page.
Well, that promo he did about him, cowboy shit. That's
about the workers' rights. Him and Punk, sure, they got heat, but I mean that doesn't mean that they can't make money off of this. I don't think there's going to be anything between Punk and Kenny and the Bucks, but I could see them doing something with him and Hangman. And I think
Hangman gonna call
they're very, very good.
You think Hangman gonna call him up tomorrow on his home turf?
Actually, no, I don't. Should he? Is that the story they should do? Absolutely, that's what they should do, but I don't think they will. I don't think Tony Khan's ready to pull the trigger on heel CM Punk right now. I don't think he wants to portray Punk as a bad guy, and you can't have Hangman Page be the bad guy. First 3 years of the company were about Hangman Page babyface story.
Yeah, but Hangman, he ain't got that bad guy look, tell you the truth. He don't.
No. I don't think you can ever have a heel Hangman Adam Page. I just don't think you can do it. I don't know what events would have to take place. I mean, he's going to get booed in Chicago. If Hangman's there tomorrow, that crowd will boo Hangman Page.
Mm-hmm. I'll give it like a 50-50. I'll give it 50-50.
I stand by my original thing. CM Punk should be a babyface in Chicago and a heel everywhere else. It should be the Bret Hart thing.
Mm-hmm. It probably is, but if he changes his mind, if he turns heel in his hometown, that'd be great.
I think they could have done it on Collision. I think they could have. Like I said a couple weeks ago, Punk should have joined Bullet Club on the debut episode of Collision. He should have turned on FTR.
No.
There was such an opportunity to do it.
But FTR fought for him to get him back. He fought FTR.
Yeah.
So that'd be a dumb move.
Could you imagine how much the internet wrestling community as a whole would have shit its pants if on Collision, if Punk didn't get in the ring early, if it was FTR and these different tags in and out, and then Bullet Club and Joe's beating down Dax, and he finally gets over there to tag Punk, and Punk jumped off the apron, didn't tag him, and joined Bullet Club. This hat would actually matter if that happened. Bullet Club Gold and AEW would have actually mattered had they done that. And then tomorrow night on Dynamite, you could have had a reason for Kenta to show up and attack Punk for us to get Punk and Kenta at Forbidden Door this weekend. Which, how is Forbidden Door this weekend? I want to point that out. Time was flying by.
Oh, damn, it's this weekend?
It's this weekend.
Oh,
and we still have to figure out how to get to CM Punk and Kenta on the card, if that's going to happen. Which I think it will.
I don't think it's going to happen. I seen Kenta said he doesn't want to do nothing no more. He's over the whole, you stole my move. He's over it. But I know the money.
They might have the match. The match has to happen. Sadly, Punk will win. He shouldn't. Kenta should win, but
Kenta going to win it. Look, he might be the star of Chicago, the star, supposedly star of AEW, but Kenta can still beat him.
Yeah, Kenta should absolutely win that match, but he won't. They're not having Punk take a loss in a second match back if that's what they do. Well, I guess probably be his third, maybe. I don't know. But they're not going to have him take a loss to Kenta. He should, but
you got to have the original, show him how it's done.
I agree. Kenta at least has to hit it. Punk can kick out, but Kenta has to hit it. You can have it end in DQ. Bullet Club can interfere and be fine.
Okay. Well, here's my thing.
That Collision was a decent show. Another spectacular Punk's ESPN interview. A lot was made out about that, and that interview was very uncontroversial, which is great. You know, I think the last thing AEW needs is more backstage drama going on. Mm-hmm. Now, on to Raw last night. Again, we attended. I thought Raw was good. Everyone's reporting that Vince McMahon had a hand and changed a lot of things with how the opening was put together. I'm not
believe it.
Even mad at the opening. It would have been great to see a Seth match live in there. I've seen Seth live before. It would have been great to see him live on Raw, the Open Challenge. But I'm glad they didn't do it because I don't really like the Open Challenge for the world title personally. And if you were going to have that open the show, I really wouldn't have liked that. I would have cried about that and complained like a big Mark baby, just because your world title doesn't open the damn show. I didn't like that they did it with MJF and Adam Cole on AEW. I wouldn't have liked it if Seth Rollins would defend it against The Miz in the opening match of Raw last night. So having Finn attack Seth, good.
You know, I'm starting to notice, like, if you look back at every time Seth does that pose and the light dims, somebody attacks him.
Yeah.
Somebody. It's Finn, then it was Omos. Did the same thing. They attacked him.
I honestly thought Braun Breaker was going to attack him last night because Braun was in.
I seen that. I thought he was going to do it too. Like, oh, that's why he was there. But then he just backstage interview.
Yeah. So I don't know if there was a different plan originally to bring Braun in for that, and then that's what Vince changed, that he wanted to be Finn attacking Seth, maybe. I would imagine tonight on NXT that you'll probably have Finn show up again and attack Seth to have this thing end in DQ. There's no reason. So Braun Breaker's not going to beat him. We know that. That's a given. That's not going to happen. But there's no reason for Seth Rollins to win this match clean either.
So
Seth doesn't need to beat Braun Breaker. It doesn't hurt Braun force have to do it in any way, shape, or form. Doesn't it? The way he loses the match doesn't matter. But you could have Judgment Day show up and attack Seth Rollins at NXT, which will lead to Braun Breaker losing the match, which you then could build Braun Breaker versus members of the Judgment Day to bring Braun onto the main roster. Which is probably the way you need to do this. Yeah. That's probably the way you can introduce him. He doesn't necessarily have to come in as a heel, which is what he is in NXT right now. He could come in somewhere in between. You can figure out how the crowd on the main roster actually feels about him, if he's playing somewhere in the gray area.
No, he better as a heel. He a babyface.
Is, but it's not that often that they do an NXT call-up and have him be a heel. Even if they were a heel in NXT. It's rare.
Look at Baron Corbin. Straight heel.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Kevin Owens, straight heel.
Yeah. I really hope they're not working toward a therapy storyline with KO and Sami Zayn, with KO's rage issues. Last night I really got the feeling that we're going to end up with them going to therapy together. That's going to be the angle.
Don't say that.
And that will lead to KO turning on Sami. Or vice versa. The shock would be if Sami turns on KO.
Nah, ain't going to happen. They doing good together right now, so I don't think they're going to break them up just yet. I say they lose the titles and they go separate ways, but in a good way.
There's no way that's what happens. Those two are definitely having a match next year at WrestleMania. I think it should be for a title, but I don't know how we get them there.
I don't know either.
So we had Logan Paul's return. Well, we had multiple returns. We had Tommaso Ciampa return last night, which is great to see. We had Logan Paul return last night.
Okay, hold up. The whole Logan Paul thing, I don't like that. I really don't like that.
You don't like that they threw him in the Money in the Bank match?
No.
He didn't have to earn it?
No, he's just going to be there to hype up the match. He has nothing to do with it. It's really sucks. It's really...
Logan Paul has no business being as good of a pro wrestler as he is. Man, I'm okay with it. Whatever it is he's going to do in that ladder match is going to be unbelievable. It's going to be great photo ops. It's going to give me a bunch of clips to take off of there and make clips to throw onto Reels and on TikToks and stuff for the podcast. So that way I can then throw them onto YouTube as a short and get a whole bunch of views on that to boost our numbers up so everything looks super cool. Okay. Him and Ricochet are going to be the highlight of the night of that entire
I figure it's going to be a way to do it. It could be another Ricochet 2. Him and Ricochet 2.
I will say that the element of Logan Paul being thrown into that match gives a little bit of something extra to WWE's mid-card, which I'm really, really enjoying the mid-card on Raw right now. And well, just WWE as a whole. But, I mean, there's a lot of things taking place outside of the main event picture that's all really good. And I think we're really getting to look at who will be the main event a few years down the road. And I think we're seeing a lot of opportunity there and a lot of guys putting in a lot of really good work. And I think like Raw last night, there was no filler. Like, everything kind of mattered. I think you have guys like your Bronson Reed and you have your Nakamura and Ricochet, and guys who are finding their spot to be able to create this new pecking order of the mid-card of who's going to get to that next level. And you have LA Knight, again, another guy super over last night. From the minute we hit downtown outside of Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, fans were hitting the yeah out in the streets as they were coming into the building, in line to get in. Between the woos in the crowd and the yeahs, they were about even. Leaving, people were still screaming yeah. LA Knight is really, really over. Do I think he wins Money in the Bank? That I don't know. Because I think it would be great if Logan Paul won. I knew I was going to get that look from you if I said I think Logan Paul should win Money in the Bank. I'm not saying he should win. I'm just saying it'd be great if he did, because it would give a lot of. Then people could chase him down for that title. I don't think he's going to do that many matches this year, but you could have him win it and then have him lose it to somebody else eventually.
See, now you're making me feel like I'm watching the women's match when you said that. How you watch the women hate watching the women's match. That's how I feel right now when you said that. That's how I feel. Like
you don't like Logan Paul's matches?
I like his matches, but him winning the Money in the Bank, that don't make no sense.
Just imagine he could win it and then somebody could beat him for it. Or have him cash in. He can cash in and lose. He can cash in and win. But you have him cash in on Seth.
That's too, but still,
You're not liking it? Who do you want to see win the men's Money in the Bank?
I'm between Damian Priest and LA Knight. They're my top two.
I like LA Knight. I think LA Knight's very over. If LA Knight wins the briefcase, do you think he cashes in and he's victorious?
I mean, the only way he could do it if he does what everybody else does. If the men's Money in the Bank happens to be the first or second match, there's no doubt in my mind. Later on in the night, he'll cash it in before the show goes off on Roman.
If we're going to do a cash in on the show, I would rather see Damian Priest get the briefcase, have Seth beat Finn, Damian comes out and he beats Seth and wins the title.
That too.
As much as I love a good lengthy title reign, I think it should matter. I would rather see them play a little bit of hot potato with the new World Heavyweight title versus having it be the opening match of the night on Raw. Play hot potato with it for a couple months, then get it back to Seth to carry it into Mania next year for Cody to take that off of him or something. But if the idea is that Seth Rollins is going to keep doing open challenges and have it not be the main event of Raw, then let's pull it off of Seth and give it to someone who's going to main event with
it. Yeah, I can see that. But still, even if Damian Priest did win, like I'm saying, if they did do it, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, let's say the Money in the Bank is the second to last. I mean, that could make history right there. Going from the Money in the Bank, seeing the world champion or whichever one, the world title, the universal title, whichever one, bam, cash in, win it, then cash in 20 minutes later. That's record right there. That's pure record.
Could you imagine if Damian Priest cashed in on Roman and took the belts off Roman at Money in the Bank? There's no way that happened, but could you imagine if it did?
If it happened 20 minutes later, that would be a new record for 20 minutes if it did happen.
It would definitely be a very highly watched clip online if it happened.
I'm just saying, whoever wins, if that was to happen, that would be going from slamming into ladders, tables, steps, didn't have enough strength to go 20 minutes later, 20, 30 minutes at the most, and cash in and win. That's what you're going to watch all day. I could watch that like 10 times in a row just to see it happen.
That would be cool. I definitely think that men's Money in the Bank match is going to be a great match. I just don't know. I don't know who you have when. I don't know when you play it out for them to cash in. I don't know if LA Knight needs the IC title first. I don't know.
But IC on Raw. So, wait, he can cash in. Yeah, never mind. That's the new rules. The new rules of it.
And he's not going to cash in on Gunther. I mean, but at this point, I could see someone cashing in on one of the mid-card titles because I think now the U.S. title matters. The IC title definitely matters now. But I feel like it takes away that element of surprise and that element of someone could become a new world champion and be a main eventer.
You know what'd be funny? It's funny, but hear me out. What if Damian Priest won. He won it. But he made the craziest decision. Him and Finn cashed in and won the Unified Tag Team Champions. I'm just thinking. They said any title matters now. Think about it. What if they actually did that? Another surprise. You can also cash in on the tag team.
Well, that'd be different. You could progress different storylines there. He's showing his loyalty to Finn in the Judgment Day. You can pull the belts off KO and Sammy, and then you can have those guys have their feud that follows. On that possibility, that's where we're going to end today's episode. On the possibility that Damian Priest wins men's Money in the Bank and cashes in to be for the tag team championships with Finn Balor. That would be crazy.
I'm just saying. Or Dominic, whichever one. They have to go. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I mean, what if
it might be?
And what if Seth loses to Finn, and Finn's the world champ, and Damian Priest decides, yeah, I'm going to cash in with Dom, and we're going to take the tag titles, and Judgment Day is going to be dripping in gold.
I'm just saying.
Very interesting idea. Well, with that, we thank everyone who checked us out live on Instagram. If you're not watching us live, then thank you for checking us out on Spotify, YouTube, or Rumble. We appreciate you. It's Tuesday, so tomorrow night is Dynamite. We will be back later in the week. We'll cover Dynamite. We'll talk a little SmackDown. Don't know what day we'll be back. We'll figure it out. So make sure you're following us on Instagram to know when we're going to go live and know when new episodes are up. Joe, you want to hit them with the outro?
Oh, yes, outro. Gotta do. He already said looking for on every single podcast, Surface and everything, even Rumble. So until then, I'm the little brother Joe, and that's the big guy Jeremy, and little Marky somewhere hiding around running. Until next time, y'all. High five, Marky.
And we're out.